is Valley News Live at 6.
Forget what the calendar says. Summer is here when the pools open. Fargo opened the pools this afternoon, and when it comes to water safety, there's a new policy that's put into place. If they want to swim, your kids, that is, in the deep end, they're going to have to pass a test.
And that test is swimming down the length of the pool and getting out without struggling. They will then get a wristband indicating they passed. Some pools, like Davies, have many features for kids of all ages to enjoy. If your child receives a wristband, it will work at all outdoor pools. Warm again today with some wind. We're wondering if any nastiness is blowing our way. Let's get a look at tonight's conditions in our no-wait weather. Hutch?
Well, it is hot with temperatures in the upper 80s for many across the central and eastern reaches of North Dakota and northwest Minnesota. You're cooler in the Lake of the Woods area with temperatures there in the 60s and 70s, thanks to some showers passing through. Thunder and lightning in north central North Dakota near Bottineau, slowly working its way off to the east. These storms from time to time have produced some significant hail and gusty winds from them as they continue to slowly crawl towards Bottineau. We'll keep our eyes on that, but mainly north of Highway 2 will be the best chance of storms this evening. In Fargo, it stays hot all the way until bedtime tonight, slowly slipping out of the 70s during the overnight hours. A sizzling evening in Grand Forks with breezy conditions as well. Now for tomorrow, a risk of severe weather in our neck of the woods from the Red River Valley into parts of central Minnesota. Damaging hail and straight line winds will be the main threat. I'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect and have those timed out for you here in just a few moments.
All right, we appreciate it. Thanks, Hutch.
New details tonight surrounding a murder in Polk County. The accused is the victim's brother. Nicholas Haug is charged with 2 counts of murder in the second degree. He's accused of killing his brother, 19-year-old Timothy Haug. Police say the cause of death was ruled a homicide and was caused by a blunt force trauma to the head. Authorities initially responded to an assault in Fawston yesterday afternoon. A second call for help indicated that somebody was trying to break into their house near the same home. When officers arrived, they found a man standing near the home and one man laying on the curb and was not breathing. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
Crews worked for several hours this morning cleaning up the damage. A fire left at a total of 6 apartment garages in South Moorhead. It happened just before 9 at 208 16th Street South. Crew members say no one was injured in the fire, but that at least one car and several other valuables were damaged.
We arrived, there was a lot of smoke and fire coming out of one of the garages. We had smoke and fire coming out of all 5 of the garages at one point. So there was damage throughout the whole building.
We don't yet know the cost of damages or the cause of the fire. The Moorhead Police Department was also called in to investigate.
The search continues tonight for 2 people who jumped out of a moving car during a police pursuit and took off on foot. Authorities in Grand Forks were trying to stop a driver around midnight when they say he and a passenger jumped out of the car. The car kept going, hit a tree, drove over a curb, then finally stopped when it hit a second tree. This is in the 500 block of Cherry Street. Officers were not able to locate the driver, who they've identified as Charles Collins. They are unsure who the passenger is.
3 people are facing trespassing charges after police say they chained themselves to equipment in a form of protest against pipeline construction. The Hubbard County Sheriff says they received a report of protesters on private property north of Park Rapids around 10:30 this morning. When they got to the scene, deputies say there were several vehicles parked in the road and 20 protesters either on the road or chained to logging equipment. The sheriff says the owner of the property had asked protesters to leave, but 3 stayed on the scene and chained themselves to the equipment. Deputies eventually cut the chains, and those 3 people were taken into custody.
A Bagley, Minnesota veteran will be buried with full honors this week. Peter Thompson Jr. served 2 tours in Vietnam, was awarded 4 Purple Hearts. Today, he was escorted from Bagley, Minnesota to Hector International Airport by law enforcement and motorcyclists.
We're very proud of him. Even I didn't know of all his heroic feats in Vietnam until after he died and the story was told. But we're very proud that he's going. He deserves it after all he went through.
Thompson will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery later this week.
Governor Doug Burgum has directed all government agencies to fly the United States and state flags at half-staff until sunset tomorrow to show respect for those killed in Friday's shooting in Virginia Beach, Virginia. All North Dakota residents are encouraged to do the same with their flags at their homes or businesses. 12 people were killed and several others wounded when a city employee opened fire in the municipal building. He was killed in a gun battle with police.
While many students are just starting their summer vacation, the West Fargo School District already has a new way to pick up and drop off students this fall. The district unveiled a new all-electric school bus. In November, the school board voted to buy the all-electric bus for roughly $314,000. Funds to support the project are split between the school system and several vendors. Officials say the quiet bus ride is equivalent to riding a golf cart.
It's so quiet. You can have conversations on the bus, and actually, we think the children are gonna be quieter too, just because they don't have to talk so loud.
Officials say the bus can go about 100 miles on a charge, and that they want to see how the buses handle the winter weather.
North Dakota and federal officials are developing rules for a state program that would allow armed first responders to be posted in school. The State Department of Public Instruction is working with the Attorney General's office and the Department of Homeland Security to create an outline for the program. Lawmakers passed a bill earlier this year that permits school districts to designate an armed first responder. The person cannot directly supervise students and must undergo training. The legislation requires districts to create a security plan that's approved by law enforcement and the Homeland Security Department and North Dakota offices.
A reminder for deer hunters, the application deadline for the 2019 deer season is this Wednesday, June 5th. Applicants for all regular deer, gun, youth, and muzzle loader can apply online by calling the Game and Fish Department in North Dakota. Gratis applicants must apply online. Gratis applications received on or before the regular deer gun lottery application deadline will qualify for any legal deer license. For more information, you can visit our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story.
Grand Forks police are reminding you that distracted driving doesn't just involve using your cell phone. It also involves other things like eating, reading, and personal grooming. They say if your attention isn't fully on driving, you are distracted. Today's society is rushed and people try to save time by doing other tasks while driving, but driving deserves your full attention, they say.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, if you like to fish, Minnesota's got something for the kids coming up this weekend. We'll have the details.
And our tower cam capturing a fire outside of West Fargo, throwing smoke into the atmosphere for a very hot start to the work week. We have stormy weather developing out to the west, and that is in our forecast for tomorrow. Hour by hour details are straight ahead.